I am the president of the Easy Street Homeowners Association. Our agenda for tonight's meeting is as follows. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the Easy Street Homeowners Association, and I'm going to explain the recent action taken to raise the homeowners' dues. And I'm going to explain the reasons for that action, which are outlined as our mailboxes, our past due fees, increases in some of our costs, and some highly expected future costs, and close with a conclusion to address any of the future concerns that you guys may still have. A brief overview of the Easy Street Homeowners Association. There are currently 92 homes in our association, which was founded in 1984. The median price of a home in our subdivision is $235,000. Our current board was elected and re-elected last summer. Our president and vice president, myself and our vice president, were re-elected to the same positions. We have a new treasurer and a new secretary in positions on our board. Our recent event that called this meeting to action, we had a meeting last month and unanimously decided to raise the Homeowners Association dues. We raised the dues from $87 a month to $87 a year to $120 a year. Previously, the fees had been at $87 a year for the past 10 years, so it had been a long time since these fees have been increased.
But it says a month.
I don't think that's what you're saying.
You know, I'm sorry, that was a mistake, and I apologize for it. That should have been year. They have been $87 a year for the past 10 years. This meeting was called to order to address the concerns of you, the homeowners. We did send out notices of our meetings, which is required by our minutes and by our rules. And there were some concerns. We have called this special meeting to address those concerns and to explain to you why we decided to raise the homeowners' dues. The first issue that we encountered was mailboxes. After receiving numerous complaints about mail being stolen and theft and vandalism to some of the mailboxes in the area, it was decided that we would put in locking mailboxes and each homeowner would receive a key to these mailboxes. We put in these mailboxes, which the cost was around $10,000. At that time,
$10,000 seems like a lot.
it was a lot of money, but we looked at our options at the time and that was what was decided to happen and that was what was passed and approved. At the time, we had a very small reserve account set up, and putting in that $10,000 left us with a $1,000 deficit in that account. One of our homeowners was gracious enough to offer us a small loan to cover that deficit, which has been paid back to that homeowner. We also had some homeowners' dues that were past due. The previous treasurer had a little bit of trouble with the accounting system, and with the new treasurer in place, these solutions are now being taken care of. We were $3,500 to 90 days of past due and homeowners' dues, and those accounts are being brought current. We have gone to those homeowners and we are working to establish monthly payment plans to make sure that all of our money is collected in a timely manner. And our new treasurer has better policies in place to make sure that if a due does become past due, that it is followed up and acted upon in a very timely manner. We have some increased costs. That was one of the reasons why we decided to raise the dues on the homeowners. The first one included the lawn care and the maintenance of our grounds. The lawn care cost, we had a contract that was currently $600 a month, and we had to cancel that because the company actually went out of business. We put our bid out to 5 local areas, and we received 5 bids back. We took the lowest bid, which also was a homeowner in our neighborhood, and the cost of fertilizer and weed killer has also doubled in the past 3 years, which historically our homeowner association has paid for.
Can we just mow our own lawn and save that money?
We could, but we are required by the city to have a licensed person out there and do it, and we're also required to carry insurance for that. So that would be a possibility, which is why we went with the homeowner, because he was able to offer us at the lowest rate. Our other increased cost that we had was due to insurance. As I just kind of explained, we're required to carry liability insurance for our property for anybody that's walking on our sidewalks or for anybody that does work on the property. That increase has been about 40% over the past year, and we have looked at all of the policy options that are out there, and we've carefully reviewed our policy to make sure the policy that we are carrying is the correct coverage that we need to have, and we have determined that we do have the appropriate coverage at the best rate that we could possibly get at this time.
It seems like everything's increasing more in the past couple of years. Does that mean you're going to raise the rates again?
That's always a possibility. These costs will be reevaluated. Any concerns can be brought to the board, and it's the vote of the board that determines if the rates will be raised or not.
I talked to a lot of people in my kids'
school district, a lot of parents, and they live in other neighborhoods with similar house values, but their homeowner fees are a lot less than us.
They probably don't have the same grounds or the same amount of upkeep that we're required to keep. We did do an analysis of the other homes in the area, and our homeowners do that fairly consistent with our studies with what we're seeing that other homeowners do in the area. We have some future expected costs. There are a couple of trees that are over their age limit and they're dying, and as they become older they pose a problem if they were to fall over. They could either fall in houses or fall in our roadways or our sidewalks. Those trees will need to be looked at and tried to take out. We have estimated prices of $300 to $500 per tree to do that, and our sidewalks and our roads are also maintained and they need some future improvements in them, which would require extra costs from the homeowners. So our conclusion here, we decided to raise the rates from $87 a year to $120 per year. And this was because of the reasons that I have discussed. The mailboxes left us with little to no reserve account to account for any future or increased costs. We will have increased costs in our maintenance and insurance, and there are some expected future costs. Our past due amounts are going to be collected, which will also help build our reserve for future costs. We're going to establish a $5,000 reserve per year. With the rates, if they stay this way over the next 5 years, it'll give us a very healthy reserve to deal with these increasing costs and the expected future costs. And that will safely allow us to cut down our trees and maintain a very prideful and enjoyable neighborhood.
Well, with the increases, I mean, how much was there that was past 90 days due, $3,500?
That's correct.
That's about 30% of the people who live in the community, if I'm doing my math correct. Who's to say that people aren't going to fall further behind, it's going to go to 40 or 50 percent of people who aren't paying their dues on time.
With the new treasurer, she has a new system in place so that she can be following up on those past due amounts. And as soon as they become more than 5 or 10 days past due, she's going to be going out and making sure that we get a plan in place to work with those people to get them on a payment plan that works for them and works for us.
But I don't want to do it.
I understand that, and that is a very bad consequence. But with raising costs, we have to look out for the best of our neighborhood. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, about the trees that are being cut down. So those trees are on our private property, or are they on?
Yes, they're on the green belt, and some of them are located on the outside edges of our neighborhood on some of our roads. Yes?
I think the cost is too much. You got a tree between $300 to $500. Is there some other way we can cut the cost over there?
We're certainly willing to any suggestions or any ideas that people might have to help us save money in that area. If there is another alternative, we would certainly be happy to look at it and evaluate it. Yes, Kara?
So if I pay more every month, does that mean I can park my RV out in the street now in front of my house?
No, if you read your CC&R, that's in your CC&R. You're not allowed to park your RV out there.
But I'm paying more now. Should we get more? Pay more?
We're getting better coverage.
You got mailboxes, remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, good, great.